Hello, this is Robert Forsyth, and welcome to the Cougar Room Chronicles. Say, come on in. You know, are you still being curious? Well, I'd be curious if I were you, because we finally got what I promised you in here, our three leather couches, you know, and I agonized a little bit about buying couches for an institution. Then I looked at what productivity is all about. And what productivity is, if you can make people comfortable, get them relaxed, let the ideas flow, then you really are serving a better, higher purpose, I think, than having a bunch of, you know, tables and chairs and desks and people sitting like that. And we have this wonderful person in our community called Bleacher Creature. That's almost like a commercial. But she makes these little cougar prints for us, little kind of soft pillows so that we can, you know, get down in here. And in this kind of situation, actually tomorrow is going to be our very first meeting where I'm going to have a steering group of 7 professionals from Los Angeles, Hollywood, from documentary people working all over the world, and they're going to be coming here, and we're going to sit in this room and take a look at what we can do with the Cougar Room. How is the Cougar Room and CougarRoom.com and the Cougar Room Chronicles, how is it going to serve a vision of tapping into this idea of the democratization of video, how we can get people you know, spontaneously creating their lives, documenting their lives, and getting them out onto the web. Another aspect of this place right in here is in about another 2 weeks after the Christmas sales and the prices drop down, you always got to be a little bit careful with the buck. We're going to be putting a large flat screen television back up in here, and this little handy dandy computer unit right up here. Can you get a shot of that, Jack? It is so small. This is such an amazing little item, but that's a computer all by itself and a 9-position programmable television zoomer, so it can go to presets, so it can get the people sitting on that couch in the 2-shot and get a 4-shot here and get a 2-shot here, and it swivels and does all this automatically with the push of a button. And to what end, you may ask? Well, because this is a teleconferencing facility that allows a person to sit in here, be talking to Iraq and Puyallup and Hong Kong or any other place, and have this really two-way interactive position. And one of the things that I want to do, the reason I went for the large screen TV, not because it's so cool, but you know, when you're talking to people, if their head is approximately, like this maybe, if your head is approximately the same size and you're really bringing them in as a coffee table component, it's a little bit easier to sort of suspend the disbelief that the person is thousands of miles away. Oh, hey, and take a look at this. Down here. I got this table at the Goodwill here locally in Port Townsend. It cost me $10. It was on sale. They had it down for $20, but it was half price day. And I took a look at it and I thought, well, you know, as an institution kind of table, because you know, it's got soft corners, a person rubs their leg on it, they're not going to, you know, hurt themselves. And I thought, well, for $10 and a little bit of sweat labor, and I could strip off the old stuff. And I very proudly brought it in here, and some of the younger guys like Jason, who you met earlier, said, well, man, that's really retro. We had some of those when we were in college. And I thought, well, gee, maybe I did too. But anyway, for $10, heck of a good deal. It does what it's supposed to do, holds the point setup, has the speakerphone when you need to do conference calls, and of course the programming device where I talked about how you do all these presets and you can make that little unit swivel around, a real R2-D2 kind of component. I love the color, the fact that we got the warm, and you know, it's important, branding, just like my little thing right here, the WSU. You know, we're branding. This is the State University, the same university that brought you Edward R. Murrow, the forensic broadcast journalist of the McCarthy era. You know, same university, that's us, WSU. We're back on the job. And, oh, not that we ever left the job, I just want to say that here in the far hinterlands, we're on the job. So we got the little carpet in here, and got my office put back together. And, oh, over here, just to give you a clue here, this is the other half of what I do when I'm not being a college advisor and running the learning center here, is that I go out in the world and play this particular instrument. In fact, on my wall over here, this Appalachian Mountain dulcimer, on one side, you've got here's a picture of myself and and Butch, who was our mascot for the university when we were at the Rose Bowl. And then over here you have Robert Force, the sort of bon vivant. I guess I was dressed up more in my New Orleans style there as a dulcimer player going out into the world. And I'm so very grateful that this university allows me to do both. I get a chance to get out there, I play music, I travel around the country, and I meet people, and I bring those people and those programs back here. So, okay, let's check on what's going on. This is the Cougar Room now, and you just saw the Cougar Room Chronicles, and now we're going to step into the Otter Room. Now, actually, technically, we're all the Cougar Room, but I called this one the Otter Room because I wanted people to know that when they went into computers, they needed to be like an otter. You're laying on your back, you got your feet in the air, and you're being playful with technology. Okay, so let's see what's being played with in the technology room. Okay, a quick sweep around the room here, and over here we've got Denise Kenny, who is currently editing a video on one of the G5s, and she's got a little workstation. We don't want to bother her, but that's what she's got going there, and she's been in here many times over this last several months. Here's our two G5 stations, and so these two G5 stations, that's a lot of horsepower. Remember, those are double processor, dual processor, plus multi-gigs of RAM, and so on and so forth. So, good stuff. The green screen room wall, we haven't actually done anything against this yet. We're waiting for one more greenness. We're going to get a what's called half-stop digital green. So it'll be slightly darker than this. It's okay for now. But the other thing we're going to be doing is replacing these lights so we get a 5600 Kelvin daylight bleed in here. And then we'll also be blanking out these windows behind us so that we have some kind of control and we don't get headlights coming through here. But for the most part, my lighting expert, Ted Krasinski from Los Angeles, says that we should be able to do 95% of any kind of video production that is currently done can be done in this room. Oh, and we're going to do this. One more thing to look for in the construction. We will be putting a half-round wall down through here, like usually a Formica, and blend it in and bring the green all the way out to here, so that when we get our Kelvin lights up here and our stands and our floods, you have a seamless corner, so that when the cameras track action back and forth, you're not having to worry about foreshortening the distance and blowing the edge of your green screen. So that's what's going on in here. More computers will still be showing up on this side. We have 4 more G4s, which is, it's good enough for the edit list if you don't need the horsepower of the G5s. Well, earlier today, I was filming another segment, and what we have here with the pull-down screen is we were able to get up and use our video projector box hooked into the G4, bring up a set of pictures, run that set of pictures up here so that I could sit here and talk in front of it while referring to the slides. And because the angle of the projector is so much higher, I'm not actually blocking, as you can see my shadow perhaps back here now. So that was a pretty good thing. So, I was going to mention this tomorrow, but I'll do it today. Like every good place, you need good tools. And the tools aren't just places to sit, and they're not just machines to run on them. But if you want to keep some place looking good, get something good to keep it looking good. So, once again, hey, for $100, you can't do any better. I'm not trying to sell the Hoover brand, but I am trying to say that you got to get something good. Out here, these pine needles. Let's take a look at the pine needles. Boy, yeah, out here, these pine needles that we have, they get tracked in there. And by the time that stuff gets worn down into the carpet, the next thing you know, you got a mess. So we got a good vacuum cleaner. We've got our great little couch type units in here. Eventually I'll get some curtains across so we get a good heavy curtain area, and then we'll also be putting sort of a black filtered paper so that we can control the daylight ambiance, and I guess that's it. So for a while, this is Robert Force and the Cougar Room Chronicles here at Washington State University. You swing on over here, get the logo, Jack. You need the logo. Reminding you to stay curious.